Hey, it's me, Mr. Martin. I'm going to tell you a little bit more of how to play around with Picktochart, how to add some things. Yesterday we talked about just setting the thing up. Of course, you need 5 body blocks. The first is a title. You need a title and your name. Last is your sourcing. You need to add your sources in there. Just URLs will do. And then we talked about how to put text in. We talked about how to put charts in and how to format those. So, if you're just looking at this one, you can refer back to earlier videos to learn how to do all that stuff. But we're going to talk about some other tools that are featured here on Picktochart. And if you hit graphics up here, there are kind of an sundry of things that you're welcome to play around with here that might add to your chart here. The first thing here says shapes and icons. And there's all sorts of different things that you can look in here. Like if, I don't know what exactly your topic is, but here I just clicked on environment. I don't know, maybe you're talking about tornado safety and you can pick a little tornado and you can put it in there. What I have had some kids do is use these little icons as bullet points. I'm going to get rid of that and put it down here. Maybe you're talking about the environment. Maybe you're talking about saving water. Well, let me find something here and play around with it just to show you. Okay, I think I did have somebody last semester talk about wind energy. Well, here's a little windmill, and maybe you used these little guys as just little bullets or something like that. And I think, let's see, you could probably click on one and then copy it, maybe. I don't know. Oh, this is good. This little icon up here, it says arrange. I think you can use this to kind of put things in front of others. Like if you got something you want to put on top of another graphic, that is the tool that you use there. Let's just take a look at some of the other things that are under the graphics, different types of lines here. Of course, it's got a bunch of built-in photos, but if you want something specific to your topic, you'll probably have to upload something, and you would hit upload to do that. Something also that's kind of cool is the photo frame. And so I'll show you how this works. You pick something that seems applicable or stylish, or kind of adds to your Picktochart here. You throw her in here, and then what you do, if I click on it, says drop your photo in here. Well, I'm going to go drop my photo. These are some things I've already uploaded. Here's a picture of a hamster. I'm going to drop it in here. Look, see how that looks? It's pretty cool. Let's find some other fun photo frames. Something I did on mine is I had like 9 out of 10 cheetahs don't make it to adulthood. So I used a number photo frame. So here I'm going to throw in a 1. And maybe I say like 10% of people, I don't know, die from this or whatever. Like what you can do is just pick something and you put it in there, and then you can, I don't know, put various pictures in here. So there you go. There's 10. Put Phil Swift there, and now I'm going to put this lady here. And then I can put there's a percent sign in there too. So all sorts of cool photo frames that you can play around with. Trying to think of some other things I want to pass along to you. Let's look at the actual rubric really quickly. I'm just going to go to classroom, and this is under the infographic assignment. A lot of the stuff I've mentioned in passing already, but again, if you want to look at some samples, there's quite a few here. There's a student examples from the past. This is just something from Picktochart that talks about how to create it in minutes and kind of gives you a lot of the instructions that I've already shared with you, but you're welcome to look through that. Let's take a look at the rubric here, though. Okay, infographic guidelines. Here's how you get graded. Again, for that title block, you just need a couple things. Features a title and the student's name, features an engaging background, and for a title block, I would see if you can put a picture in there that relates to your topic in some way, shape, or form. Each body block should contain either a graphic, chart, statistic, or some info. It should have an engaging background, and it should include some text. Basically, in each body block, you got 3 of them. You've got like graphic info and then probably infographic. And you kind of switch them up as you go through to help keep the thing balanced. So it's not like tipping over this way with pictures or tipping over this way with text. And then at the end, you have your source block. It's just the word source. And you just mentioned the block and then the URLs where you got the information for each block. Throughout the whole thing, you need at least one chart or graph created by you, not copied or pasted from the web, but it's created by you on Picktochart. It should be related to the topic and provide interesting insight into the topic. Let's get rid of 2. Boy, I really fudged this up here. The chart is formatted to match the color scheme of the infographic. All right. The photo should relate directly to the topic and provide an interesting perspective. So you need at least one photo here, it says. I'm also just looking at some basic design things here. Is there uniformity in the fonts? Maybe stick to just one title font style and one subtitle font style. Again, you don't want to get all wild, but try to keep it consistent so it hangs together. There's some uniformity and unity. You want a uniform color scheme. Maybe you switch up your main colors throughout. You want to provide contrast. Of course, make sure that you don't have, for example, white font on a light gray background that you can't see. Also, some of those backgrounds are incredibly busy, and if you try and put text over top of it, it's really tough to read. So that's one thing I'll keep in mind is you just want it's easy to read. It's not when you look at it, it doesn't drive the viewer away. They're like, I can read this, and this is interesting. The text and the graphic provide interesting insight into the topic. The overall design is attractive, engaging, balanced, and organized. Excess space is avoided. Again, you want to use all the space on the infographic. So make things bigger, make font bigger, make pictures bigger, fill things up. It's easy to do. And of course, you're always looking to avoid grammatical punctuation or spelling errors in the text, unlike me in this document, apparently. Be sure to have a classmate check your work first. Well, that might be a little more difficult since we're on coronation here, but the whole project's going to be worth 75 points. Again, you will have plenty of time to work on this when we get back. Generally it's a project that I give kids a week to work on. It's relatively easy to make once you kind of get the hang of Picktochart and learn how to use its different features. It comes together pretty quickly. But another key is just making sure that you get 3 good facts or 3 good statistics. Sometimes it is a little difficult to make the charts here. Again, charts is under tools. But what I was trying to show you yesterday is that if you hit this gear button, you can change the colors of the individual things. And maybe you want to change colors to try and match your color scheme that you've already been working on. Maybe I'll throw in white. Maybe I'll throw in black or something like that. So it matches what I was trying to do. And ultimately, you just hit insert chart and it'll throw it in there wherever you want it. While we're here on Google Classroom, let's just take a look at one more student example, and that should be, hopefully that's enough to kind of inform you as to how to do this. This is from last year. This happens to be Chelsea, she wrote about bee endangerment. This is actually a background on Picktochart. They have kind of this hexagonal hive looking thing. I think the bee was an icon, and I think this is one of the lines. That's how she got that thing going on, and she kind of stretched it around how she wanted it. Here, no chart or graphic. It's just some good information. Honeybees are responsible for pollinating all these different plants. You can see how she used the bee to bullet the different plants there. Here you can see how she used the numbers as photo frames, and then she just put, it's a background like a honeycomb. And it says 1 in every 3 bites of food we eat is produced by a bee. That's why they're so important. Here is where she made her own chart. So her little factoid here says the U.S. National Agricultural Statistics show honeybee declined from 6 million back in 1947 to 2.4 million today, or more recently. I guess that's almost 12 years ago. That's a 60% reduction, and this is one of the charts that you can insert. Notice how she's got kind of this gray, black, yellow color theme going on. The fonts are, I think, almost all the same here. The one font you don't have to worry about formatting is the titles for the charts, because you can't format the font style on that. So don't worry about that matching up. There she used the photo frames again to put this number in here. While domestic honeybees perform about 80% of pollination worldwide. And now look how she does the sources at the bottom. If you want to find out where she got the information for these, she just goes block by block. And this is what I would like you to do. Obviously, block 1 is your title, so you're not going to need anything here. But she just copies and pastes the URLs, and it looks like there were 2 sources. It looks like the same source was used for the last 3 block, but the reader should be able to know where everything comes from. Here is one on sex trafficking from last year. See, it's Carmen Santamore. That's, a very arresting picture up front. Like, that definitely gets people's attention, and that's generally what you want to do with a title block. But you can see that she kind of has a certain color scheme and font style going out throughout. Here's a chart that she created. These are little icons she put in here, but it kind of helps illustrate that number. She used another photo background, but it kind of fits because it's kind of got that dark gray theme to it. Of course, it fits topically as to what's on it. And it really catches your attention and helps you realize, helps you visualize how serious and horrible and tragic this whole thing is. The average age that teenagers enter the sex trade is 12 to 14-year-olds, and that's really gross and frightening. And then you see that she just gives you where she got the information for each block. That's an A+. So there's a couple examples for you. Hopefully that kind of provides everything that you need to know. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me at martinr@unit11.org. You can just message me through Google Classroom and give a comment. But if you're looking for something to do over break, this is certainly a project that you can work on, because if we get back to school eventually, we will work on it anyway. And that's all for now.